Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 82 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. I'm just sitting here getting ready to do a bunch of cool stuff. Let's take a look. So, last episode we played around with the new portal gun, hooray! And we also set up the preparations for what's going to be a pretty nice room for powering a nice reactor. That's the plan, at least. So we're going to have a big reactor down here from Big Reactors, and we're going to have turbines and all kinds of other stuff. But before we can really get into building that, there's a few resources that I don't quite have enough of at the moment. One of them being ender pearls. We're going to need a lot of them. So I could just flip on this nifty little machine here, and we'll start allowing the ritual underneath to speed things up. You guys remember a while ago I set up this cool ritual down here, right? Yeah. However, I would like to do something a little different now. I want to speed this up even more. That's the plan, at least. So, let's get ourselves something to help speed up that ritual. Luckily, it's something we've already been working on, at least mostly. Boom. Right up here, we've got some cool stuff, and I want to show you what you can use some of these alchemy reagents for, specifically around augmenting rituals. So almost every ritual available in Blood Magic can be augmented by the use of some of these reagents that we've been auto-crafting. Now, there is one that I haven't set up auto-crafting for yet. I'm going to do that off camera. In fact, I don't know. I want to set up like the second tier of alchemy reagents, but you guys have all seen me do this already, so I might just do this off camera real quick, just to get it going. But yeah, I want one of the reagents is the second tier that we're going to need to help speed things up. So why don't I do this? I'm going to build that off camera, and then we'll come back, and at least I'll get like one of them going. Let's see, where's strengthened catalyst? So that has the opportunity to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different types of alchemy reagent. So that shouldn't be too bad to set up. I'm going to go do that off camera now, and then I'll come back once that's configured. It's pretty much going to be the exact same design as this system, just, you know, with 6 instead of 9, and then we'll be good. And then I'll come back and everything will be cool. Sound like a plan? All right, I will see you guys in a minute once I've configured this, and am good to go. Alright guys, we're back, and I've done a little bit of work, as you can see here. I forgot a vacuum duct though, because I'm a dire derp, and that was a dire derp too. Let's get more item ducts. You can see I crafted a bunch of these, just because I figured, I'm always using them. And that was me doing the same thing again. Alright, let's do this proper this time. There we go. Now you should go down there. Nice. So the Orbis Terrae, which is the thing I want to make, goes in here. And this thing goes like this. It's gunpowder, Terrae. Did you get pulled out already? Oh, right. Derp. These guys I forgot to configure for low. 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 I think that's correct, right? Yes, that should be good. Cool. There we go. Now we're talking. Just had to do a couple things here. So the recipe for this is Terrae, gunpowder, the strengthened catalyst, sand, and netherrack. Cool? So that's good. Now, let's take a look at how we can do this. So this should craft 10 of these for me. If we take a look in our system here, and we look at Terrae, we should already be up to 8. Nice. You can see it's using Terrae, so obviously that's being auto-crafted on the other side of the room. And then as soon as we hit 10, this thing should be done. And this guy should do his thing, and everybody's happy. Beautiful. And this thing is crafting more Terrae for us. Very cool. I like it. I love automation. Can you tell? Nah, you probably had no idea. Alright, so that's there. Can I cover this up? Yes, I can. And then this guy here, and that looks cool. Alright, so we'll add to the other types here, again, off camera, just because it's the exact same thing you've seen already. But Orbis Terrae was the one I needed for what I want to do. So let's pop downstairs and get ready to craft a few things that we're going to need. Alright, so I just made up some fractured bones up here. And you take one fractured bone, one gold nugget, and I'm going to put all these away. These guys go in here together. I think. Did I forget something? Strengthened, gold nugget, fractured bone. Oh, it probably needs to be, let's see, the higher tier orb, I want to say. That's probably what it is. So how am I for higher tier orbs? Okay, good, I do have an extra one that I can toss in there. Cooking now? Yeah, that's cool. And that'll get us concentrated catalyst. We're going to keep about 20 of these at all times in the AE system. So you have this times 20, and you should start automatically cooking, I would think, once I place this right there. Cool. Awesome. So we need those concentrated catalysts for some of the things we want to make right now. So let's take a look in Blood Magic and take a look at what we're going to get. We need some crystal bell jars. We're going to want, I'm going to grab at least 2 of them to get started. And obviously more catalysts will start getting crafted. What else do I need here? Let's see. We're definitely going to need an alchemic router. So for that we're going to need some quartz rods. So let's get, I don't know, like 6 of them to start, and we'll see if we need more. So an alchemic router is going to be necessary, so we want one of these. We're going to want the alchemic segmenter, so we're going to want one of these. And we're going to want the alchemic cleanser, so we're going to need 3 more quartz rods. Cool. So those things are all important. They're part of this alchemy system we're going to do for augmenting our stuff. And then the final components I think that we're going to want here is alchemic calcinator. So we're going to need cracked runic plates for that, huh? Alright, so the alchemic calcinator. Cracked runic plates are 2 imbued slates with a concentrated catalyst. So I can get that. We should have imbued slates. And concentrated catalyst. And then we'll just bring that upstairs and we'll pop in one of these guys that isn't currently operating. So you're probably still cooking. You shouldn't be doing much. Cool. So let's check that out again. There we go, alchemic calcinator. Nice. And we're also going to want another blood orb. So maybe I should get myself another one of these. That is 40,000 LP. I should be able to get that. Weak blood shard, blood magic. Ah, this thing's been draining all the LPs, huh? That's okay. We'll let him continue to do his thing. Maybe I'll get that later. Well, my inventory's full. Let me clean up my inventory and then we'll come back for this part. Alright guys, we're back. And I just made myself another blood orb. Or 2. So this should go in there. Yes, awesome. Alright, let's pop upstairs. And get ready to do cool stuff. So, I've placed down my calcinators and bell jars. So what we can do is turn these items, Terrae and Orbis Terrae, and I'm actually going to get more of them. Don't worry, they'll autocraft. Gotta love it. So we should see things cruising right now. Love automation, like I said. So what we're going to do is we're going to hopper these in. It's probably the easiest way. Maybe sometime down the future I'll get like AE in here doing this, but for now we should be cool. Now if we place our Orbis Terrae in here, boom, it'll filter that all into there. It's got an internal slot for storing all the stuff, and the Terrae can go in there. We're also, oh, there we go. If I right click it, it brings it out. So let's put in 1. You should be able to go in there. Okay, cool. Good to know. That has to go in first. Alright, the orb has to go in first, and then these can go in there. Cool. And you'll notice some swirly particle effects indicating that the thing's working. And we can also see the Terrae and Orbis Terrae sitting there. Now, we should be able to take our divination sigil and see how much of the reagent is in there. So we can see right now there's 1,000 currently of Terrae and 1,000, looks like it's up to 2,000 now, Orbis Terrae, and that's going up to 2,000. Sweet. So we're distilling it down into liquid form, basically. And this liquid form can be used to augment our rituals. So first, we're going to want to store this in some kind of storage container, because these guys can't store all that much. They're currently up to 3,000. So you get about 1,000 per item, I want to say. Let's go ahead and filter it. So first we need to segment. So if you shift right click with the alchemic segmenter, it used to designate which reagents can go into a container. Currently it's segmented in Terrae. And if we right click on this guy, he's now configured to allow Terrae in. Cool. Then we want to shift right click on this guy. This attunes this thing to Terrae, so it's allowed to send Terrae from one location to another. We're going to right click on this tank to select it, and then right click on this tank, and then boom, we'll start to notice this thing filling up. Cool. And there we go. There's the particle effect I was looking for. There's supposed to be a little particle effect. You saw it briefly. There it is. Nice. So now let's segment this guy with Orbis Terrae. Right click, shift right click, right click. Oh wait, we have to shift right click in the air. That clears the current container. It was still stuck on this thing. So then we can shift right click that guy, and there, right click. And he should start filling up, maybe. One tank set to Orbis Terrae. Linking that guy to this guy. There we go. Now he's cruising. Sweet. So they're filling up, obviously. This guy's got 11,000. I think his current storage potential is 16,000. So the same thing can be said here. And we'll let these guys filter down. So it's going to use up, its Terrae and its Orbis Terrae. We're going to check in here. Nice. We got 10 Orbis, and now it's cooking up more regular Terrae for us. Assuming everything's going well here, or are you missing something? Oh, you're missing obsidian? I never taught you how to make obsidian, did I, AE system? We've run out. Oh well, I'll fix that later. For now, let's see. You're currently at 14,000. Cool. And you're currently at 9,000. So I'm going to clear this container saving position, and once this gets up to 16,000, he'll be full. So this thing will start to fill up itself, kind of backlogging. I'm going to bring this downstairs once they both get to 16,000, and we'll come back in a minute once we're ready to check out how to link these to the ritual. But it's pretty much the same thing we just did. All right, so you'll notice now that we've got 3,000 in this calcinator, so obviously he's got a backlog filling up because this thing's full. Pretty sure I can just break this thing, and it'll retain its current contents. Cool, and you are at 15,000, so let's get it to 16. You should be almost done here. There it goes. So you're coming with me. Downstairs to the base. So if we take a look at, how this is running, clearly we've gotten a few ender pearls since we've turned it on, but it's actually been a while, and we only got a few stacks of ender pearls here. Things are, obviously moving, but they're not moving that fast, right? Doing all right. Not terrible. So let's go down here and set this ritual thing up to use the crystal bell jars. So I'm going to take the bell jar. We'll just put one here and one here. So first thing we're going to want to do is segment this ritual. So we want to right click here, and you'll see one of the tanks of the ritual stone has Orbis Terrae allowed, and now one of the tanks has Terrae. So what we'll discover from this, and I don't think there's a good way to figure out what the current settings are, but long story short, imagine there's like 3 tanks in here that it can hold, and one of them is set to Terrae and the other one is set to Orbis Terrae. Cool. So then we're going to make sure we shift right click on nothing, clear our current focus, and then shift right click on this, attuned, right click on this, linking selected container to the ritual stone. Cool. And then shift right click on nothing to clear it. There we go. And then attune, right click, go. So now, if we look with this thing, you'll notice that if you look in our little bottom there, you'll see there's 1,000 terrae and 1,000 orbis terrae in that ritual. And if you look, it's slowly using up the liquids in here. Plus, we've got nifty new particle effects going on our ender lily seeds. Look how much faster things are growing now. I'm going to take off my ring of magnetism because that's going to confuse things. But things are cruising like there's no tomorrow. Definitely a significantly faster growth. You'll notice it's like booking it. Cool, right? Yeah. See, ender lily seeds growing very quickly. So a huge speed increase from that. Like I said, many of the rituals have many augments that are available. So as we start playing with a few more rituals going forward, we might be seeing some more stuff like this. And maybe we'll look into how to automate, getting the jars from one location to the other. But at least for now, we were able to get ourselves a good number of ender pearls coming in. Nice. So I'm actually going to take all these guys and throw them into the AE system. Now, of course, we have not automated it in such a way that we can, move those crystal bell jars and automatically refill them. So once they are empty, the speed boost will be lost because it will no longer be receiving terrae or orbis terrae. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to refill those crystal bell jars manually. And I think what I'll do these fit on a tool rack? Aw, they don't. That's unfortunate. I was going to put them on a tool rack up here. I thought that would look cool, but no. Oh well, they're going to have to sit somewhere. I'm thinking maybe just a chest, I guess. That'll work. And we should have terrae production completed over here because I found some obsidian. I had that obsidian generator that I never really automated or configured or anything, but it hangs out back here. I just stole a stack and threw it in the AE system. Cool. All right, so let's get ourselves ready to make some cool stuff. One thing I probably should teach this thing how to make is graphite bars. Let's pop upstairs real quick. I almost forgot. Graphite bars were a thing that we needed to make. How many do we have at the moment? None. We just need to throw coal into a smeltery. All right, so if we did coal equals graphite bar, we're going to configure this pattern. And we'll put this in an alloy smeltery that smelts this kind of stuff. Perfect. Cool. So now, if we asked for a graphite bar, we should get one. Yeah? Nice. Cool. All right. So now that we've got that going, let's pop downstairs and grab our reactor stuff. So we're definitely going to want some glass. Let's request like 100 of those. See? Crafting time. Have fun with that. And we're going to want to... I'm not sure if I can want to equal trade this, so we're going to try it. Oh, boo, you can't. That's unfortunate. Is it worth trying? Because I think these are maybe tile entities, and that's why it doesn't work. But I'm going to try it just for the fun of it. I'm going to check out the exchanger, courtesy of EnderTech. So this thing's not too bad. We just need a tesseract. So that's awesome that we need to make a tesseract. But let's see. Exchanger. This is very similar to the wand of equal trade. So what do we have here that we have ready? I can real quick make a redstone one of these dudes. Let me make a tesseract off camera real quick, just because it's going to take a minute to put that together. And then we'll come back and... oh, I'm going to need more electrum now. Yeah, we'll come back in a minute when we're ready. And I guess while I'm at it, I might as well go with the resonant exchanger, right? Just because it's the same recipe. So let's upgrade this guy to one of those, and then cross your fingers, tesseract. All right, it needs to actually be a full-blown tesseract. Then I should be able to do this. Sweet, resonant exchanger, cool. And he should get wirelessly charged. Nice, 10 million RF storage potential. Let's see, where exactly will this thing go? What's the hotkeys for it? If we open our options here, let me find the hotkeys for this. Tinker's Construct. EnderTech tool bindings. Tool increase is next and prior. don't even know what those controls are. So you know what I'll do is I'll make it insert and delete. So this should allow you to increase the radius at which it can do stuff. So if I shift right click this thing, you'll see at the top left radius 4. Insert and delete will allow me to change the radius. So the max radius it looks like is 8, and the lowest of course is 1. Neat, right? So I'm just curious. I figured we'd make one of those real quick. A, so that you can see that it exists, and B, to see if this works. So yeah, see it's got the red outline. I guess it's the same thing. It must be a tile entity, so it won't let me resonantly exchange it. But that's cool. Let's put this thing away. We'll hang on to this guy for a minute. And let me replace all these blocks here manually off camera, and then we'll come back. All right, guys, looks like we're almost there. I need a little bit more reactor glass. Let's say 30. Oh, making that up. But of course, there's a few things we're definitely going to need in addition. So let's get ourselves out of here for a minute while that crafts. We're going to need the following stuff. Ooh, you're all hiding on me, huh? Oh, right, my network tools in my inventory. Get out of there. All right, reactor stuff we're going to need. We're definitely going to need reactor control rods. I'm thinking 5-ish for now. So let's get some more reactor casings ready to go for this thing. And you know, we'll probably want some graphite as well. Just get that crafting. So reactor control rods. And we're also going to want a reactor controller. We're probably going to want 2 access ports. That should be good. Let's see, RedNet port. We're probably going to want a computer port. And we'll talk about what those are all about in a bit, just in case you haven't seen my reactor computer program. If you haven't, I'm hoping you guys will like it, because I think it's cool. So reactor computer port. And is there anything else I'll need for now? No, but we will need some yellorium fuel rods. But we'll get to that in a minute. But let's craft up the graphite for that. I'm going to request another 30. You know what? I'm going to request 100. There. Now we have a ton of graphite. It's only using coal, and we have a ton of that stuff. Cool. So let's do right in the center, and then we'll do a pattern like this for our reactor control rods. Cool. And we should be able to, at this point now, do 1, 2. Cool. And 1, 2. Nice. Look at that. So there's probably going to want to be, I'm going to have at least 1 turbine going, and I'm thinking into this wall is where I'm going to have the turbine. But I'm not 100% sure about that yet. Might need more than 1 eventually, but for now, let's get ourselves reactor access ports, controller, and the computer component to this thing. Where'd that go? There it is. So we'll have our controller here, and you know what I'll do is I'll put the reactor access ports on either side. And remember, if you hit one with a wrench, it'll go to output mode. Cool. So this will output, this will input. We've got our reactor glass here. Remember, right click with an empty hand. Yeah, control rods may be placed on top of face, atop a column of fuel rods. Yes. So we need fuel rods. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 5. We're going to need 35 fuel rods. Hopefully, we've got enough. We should be able to do 35. And there we go, 35. See how handy this portal gun is? Already being useful. Thank you, portal gun. There and there. now we should be ready to kick this thing on, I think. Or at least the basics of what I want to do with it. Let's put our topper in here. Cool. Nice. We've got a formed reactor. Cool. All right, so now that that's there, let's do a little bit more with it. So the other thing we're going to do with this reactor is use it to power a turbine. So we're going to need reactor coolant ports here, and this is going to change the functionality of the reactor. Right now, you'll notice that there's an energy buffer, and there's core and casing heat, and basically an RF per tick measurement. However, if we put in here some reactor coolant ports, and we're going to put one here and one here, purely by the existence of this block, it's going to change the way the reactor works. And again, we can right-click it. And basically what we have is steam out and water in. So water goes in, the reactor converts it to steam, and the output is steam. So now we have a reactor that creates steam. And you'll notice that there's a different component here now. We've got the amount of hot fluid output, which is different from RF per tick generation, right? And we've got the buffers for how much coolant is going to be in here. So let's take a look. We're going to first off, want to pipe some water in, probably a pretty large amount of water. So let's get a fluid transfer node. This'll do. You know what, we can get 4 of them because we'll probably use more at some point. And we're also going to want pipes. And we'll also want world interaction upgrades. I should probably teach the AE system how to make these. Why not? U encode. Oh, no, not that. There we go. Blank out the pattern. Encode this guy, and while we're at it, we'll make one. And then we'll say world interaction upgrades. Encode that. Speed upgrades, we'll probably want to teach it how to make this. So let's teach it how to make blocks of redstone first. We'll get 4 of them, and then we can get speed upgrades. Cool. All about teaching the AE system new tricks. Now we should be able to get some world interaction upgrades, so let's get like 5 of them. And speed upgrades, let's get like 20. They craft 4 at a time, so that's 5 crafting operations. So that should be cool. We've got that going. We're just going to want a couple buckets of water, and then we should be good. 1, 2. And because I kind of want to have this thing hidden and look cool, we're going to do this down here. Neat. So we'll put 1 bucket here, 1 bucket here. This guy can go here, and then we break the block under it is pretty much the best way to go. There we go. World interaction upgrades and speed upgrades. Nice. So see how quickly that filled up? And this will come up through here. And now our cold water tank should be filled with cold water. Nice. It's got an internal buffer, 26 buckets or so worth. Cool. Now, if we wanted to, we could kick this thing on, but it's not going to be particularly useful. But let's go ahead and throw some yellorium in there. Let's go ahead and throw some more yellorium in there. Let's go ahead and throw some more yellorium in there. It's a pretty big reactor, so it has a lot of room for fuel. There we go, now we're talking. So if we turn this guy on, you'll see that his core heat rises, his steam rises, and he's going to get more water filled in there. That's cool, right? But obviously, our core heat could do better because we want to help radiate the core, so we need to fill in some blocks here. What I find is a pretty good way to do that is with diamond blocks. So how are we for diamonds? Not so great. Let's do gold for now, and then maybe we'll upgrade this later. So I think, again, we're going to want somewhere in the range of, I think we're going to need 4 columns of the 7. So 28-ish. That sound good? Yes. So we're going to break into this thing. That was probably not the right block to break. This is a better one. And we're going to put gold blocks in here. We don't want to keep this thing too cool because it's going to be producing steam, so we actually want it to get pretty hot. The hotter these things run, the better for steam production, as far as I understand it. Cool. And now if we turn this thing on, what we should find is a pretty balance between the casing and the core. So the casing and the core heat is well balanced, and we're producing a lot of steam, right? Nice. And then we can deactivate this thing, and it'll start to cool, but it'll take a while to cool off, because obviously we're not outputting the steam anywhere. And with that, guys, I think we're going to have to wrap up the episode here. So we've got the basics of a reactor. Clearly, we have a lot more work to do. Now, if I want to, I'm going to want to get some turbine control stuff going. So in order to make turbines, we're going to need this stuff called cyanite. Now, we should actually have a decent amount of cyanite already because we've been running a reactor for a while. So, wow, we have like 3,000 ingots of cyanite. That reactor that's been powering our Wisp thing has really been running, which is cool because it means we've got the cyanite ready to go. As a matter of fact, I think it's about time I turn this Wisp thing off. We don't need this reactor running anymore, powering these Wisps, and I want to make sure that this is actually turned off. Nice, it is. Cool. So that looks good. So yeah, what I think we'll do is let this thing shut down. And we'll come back next episode, take a look at reactors, take a look at converting our power system to big reactors, and what other things we need to do with this thing to get it up and running. So clearly we've got a good amount of water going in there. We might need to have even faster input of water. We'll see. And then, yeah, we'll have a good time setting up a big reactor, powering our base, and then, of course, lots more stuff to come. Because I have some needs in the future that are going to require large amounts of power. So we'll definitely want to investigate that. All right, guys, for now, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will be back next time. Take it easy.